When I was a little boy, I lived in a small town with my mother and father. Our house was old, but it was full of love and laughter. Every morning, I woke up to the smell of fresh bread that my mother baked. I would run down the wooden stairs, still wearing my pajamas, and find her smiling in the kitchen. My father would sit at the table, reading the newspaper and drinking his black coffee. I loved those mornings because everything felt safe and simple. After breakfast, I would grab my backpack and run to school. My school was just a 10-minute walk from home. On the way, I passed by Mr. Peter's shop. He sold candies, toys, and funny hats. Sometimes, if I had saved a little money, I would buy a lollipop and eat it on the way to class. Mr. Peter was a kind old man with white hair and glasses. He always waved at me and called me young champ. I liked that nickname. It made me feel strong and important. School was fun most days. My favorite subject was science because I liked learning about animals, plants, and stars. My teacher, Mrs. Lane, was very kind. She always smiled and told us stories about her cat, Buttercup. Buttercup was always getting into trouble, knocking over flower pots or stealing socks. Mrs. Lane would laugh so hard when she told these stories, and soon, the whole class would laugh with her. At lunchtime, my friends and I would sit under the big oak tree behind the school. We shared sandwiches, played games, and talked about our dreams. Some of my friends wanted to be astronauts, others wanted to be singers or football players. I wanted to be an explorer. I wanted to travel the world, find hidden treasures, and discover new lands. Sometimes we would pretend the oak tree was a giant ship, and we were sailing across the ocean. We shouted orders, climbed the branches, and laughed until our stomachs hurt. After school, I usually went to the park. The park had a small lake, a playground, and lots of big trees. I liked to climb the trees and sit on the highest branch I could reach. From there, I could see the whole town. I felt like a king looking over his kingdom. Sometimes I would bring a book and read about faraway places while the wind played with my hair. Other times, I just closed my eyes and listened to the sounds of the birds and the leaves. The world felt so big and full of possibilities. I believed that anything could happen if I dreamed big enough. One summer afternoon, something amazing happened. I was sitting by the lake, throwing small stones into the water, when I noticed something shiny near the shore. Curious, I walked closer and saw a small, old key half buried in the mud. It looked very old, like something from a pirate story. I picked it up, cleaned it with my shirt, and held it up to the sun. It was golden and had a strange shape, almost like a star. I wondered what it could open. Maybe a hidden treasure chest? Maybe a secret door? My mind raced with ideas. I decided to keep the key in my pocket and start a secret mission. I would find what it opened, no matter what. For the next few days, I searched everywhere. I looked behind trees, under rocks, and inside old sheds. I even asked Mr. Peter if he had seen any old chests or locked doors. He laughed and said no, but he gave me a piece of chocolate for being such a good adventurer. I didn't give up. I believed the key had a purpose. Then, one evening, as the sun was setting and the sky turned orange and pink, I found something. Behind the park, hidden under thick bushes, I saw a small wooden door built into a hill. It was covered in vines and looked very old. My heart started to race. I ran to the door and pulled at the vines until they fell away. There, in the middle of the door, was a keyhole. I pulled the golden key from my pocket and pushed it into the keyhole. It fit perfectly. I turned the key, and with a loud click, the door slowly creaked open. A cool breeze came out from inside. I felt a shiver, but I wasn't scared. I was too excited. I stepped inside and found myself in a small, dark tunnel. I used a flashlight from my backpack to light the way. The tunnel smelled like earth and old wood. I walked carefully, my heart pounding with every step. After a few minutes, I reached a large room. It was full of old books, maps, and strange objects. It looked like a secret library. Dust covered everything, but I didn't care. I felt like I had found a hidden world. On a big table in the middle of the room, there was a map. It showed a picture of my town, but there were strange symbols marked all over it. Some looked like stars, others like animals or trees. I spent hours in that room, looking at the books and studying the map. I decided that the map must be showing secret places around the town. Maybe there were more hidden doors, more adventures waiting. Every day, after school, I went back to the secret room. I cleaned the books, drew copies of the maps, and made notes. It felt like I was part of something important, like I had a mission to complete. I didn't tell anyone, not even my parents or friends. It was my special secret. One day, I found a small book hidden under a loose floorboard. It was a diary, written by a boy named Samuel. Samuel lived in the town 100 years ago. He had found the key, just like me, and he had built the secret library to hide all the special things he found in the woods and fields. He believed that the world was full of magic, but only those who believed could see it. I felt a strong connection to Samuel. Even though we had never met, it was like he was talking to me through the diary. He wrote about a secret garden where trees could talk and a river where the fish glowed at night. I wanted to find these places too. Following the symbols on the map, I began my next adventure. I first went to the old oak tree behind the school. According to the map, there was something hidden there. I searched around the roots and found a small metal box. Inside, there was a smooth stone that shined like a rainbow. I didn't know what it was, but it felt magical. I kept it safe in my backpack. Next, the map led me to the town's oldest bridge. It was made of stone and had carvings of strange animals. Under one of the stones, I found a small silver bell. When I rang it, the sound was soft and sweet, like the music of fairies. Every time I found something new, I added it to the secret library. I placed each item carefully, just like Samuel had done. The library became my second home. I even brought pillows and a blanket so I could stay longer. Sometimes I imagined Samuel sitting with me, smiling and nodding as I found each treasure. The more I explored, the more I believed that magic was real, just hidden in small, quiet places where few people looked. Seasons changed, and soon autumn came. The leaves turned gold, orange, and red. The air became cool, and the town smelled like apples and wood smoke. I loved walking through piles of crunchy leaves, kicking them up and watching them fall like colorful rain. I kept exploring, even when the days got shorter and the nights came quickly. One evening, just before winter, I found a letter hidden inside a hollow tree. It was written by Samuel. It said, "To the next dreamer who finds this, never stop believing in magic. It is real, and it is everywhere. You just have to look with your heart." I smiled when I read it. I knew I would never stop believing. Even as I grew older, went to high school, and got busier with homework and sports, I still visited the secret library whenever I could. It stayed the same, full of mystery and wonder. Sometimes I would bring my little sister, Emily, and show her the treasures. She loved the rainbow stone and the silver bell. I told her the story of Samuel, and she listened with wide eyes. One day, when I was much older, maybe 20 years old, I decided it was time to add my own treasures to the library. I placed my favorite childhood book, a picture of my friends, under the oak tree, and a small model ship I had built with my father. I also wrote my own letter, just like Samuel had done. I wrote, "To the next dreamer, adventure is not only in faraway lands. It is right here, in your heart, in your dreams, in the magic of everyday life. Never forget to look." Then I locked the door, hid the key again near the lake, and walked away, knowing someone else would find it one day. And when they did, their own adventure would begin.